We really need this money. We have to. We have to. The Baba said 5 nights. If we stop now, we may never survive.
But the shadows, they're moving. I feel something watching us.
Here, what if the spirits come?
You can do this. We have no choice. Remember why we started.
I'm scared, so scared.
I know. I'm scared too. But we'll survive. Together.
This is the story of 2 young girls who lived in Lagos, broke, hungry, struggling every day. They worked hard, they prayed, but nothing changed. So they made one risky decision to meet a Baba, and that decision took them somewhere no one should ever sleep, a cemetery, 5 long nights, alone, with fear. What they did for money will shock you. Watch till the end. But before I continue with this story, please like, subscribe and share so you will not miss any story I drop on my page. Tolu and Kemi were 2 young girls living in the city. They were poor. Every day was a struggle. Tolu washed dishes at a small cafe while Kemi sold akara on the streets. They worked from morning until evening. Yet, money was always too little. Their stomach often hurt from hunger. Coins were few. Rent came every week. School fees piled up. Even small pleasures like clean clothes or cold water were impossible. Life was heavy. Every evening, they met on a small wooden bench. The sun was low. The city was noisy. Cars honked. People shouted. Music from buses filled the air. But the noise did not matter. Hunger and fear were louder. Tolu opened her small bag. Only a few coins, she said. She counted them slowly. 1, 2, 3. This is all I have until next week, she said quietly. Kemi wiped sweat from her face. Why is life so hard? She asked. We work all day, but nothing changes, she added. Tolu looked at a small piece of bread in her hand. We need something big, she said softly. Something that can change everything. They sometimes laugh to forget sadness. Sometimes they cried quietly. They dreamed of new clothes, shoes, and phones. They dreamed of a life without hunger. One evening, a friend whispered to them about a Baba in the city. He can make girls rich, the friend said. Fast money, but it is dangerous, very dangerous. Tolu laughed nervously. Rituals? That is not for us, she said. Kemi's eyes were serious. Maybe it is dangerous, but I'm tired of starving. I want to live better. I want more. That night, Tolu thought about it. She stared at the ceiling of her small room. Her stomach ached. Her hands shook from hunger and worry. Maybe Kemi was right. The seed was planted. Something was coming. Something that could change their lives forever. The next morning, the city was loud. Cars honked. People shouted. Music played from buses. Tolu and Kemi walked slowly. Their heads were full of worry. Their bag had only a few coins. Rent was coming soon. Kemi's stomach growled and Tolu's hands shook. Are we really going to do this? Tolu asked softly. Kemi looked ahead. At the end of the street was the small hut. Smoke came out of a small pipe on the roof. Old clothes hung on the walls. We have no choice, she said. If we don't do this, we will keep starving. Tolu nodded. Fear felt heavy in her chest. They stepped carefully towards the small hut. Every sound felt louder. A dog barked. Tin clattered on the ground. Their own feet made soft sound on the dirt. The hut was small. Mud walls, zinc roof. The door had one red cloth. The air smelled strong, incense and something earthly. Inside, a man sat on the floor. His eyes were dark and sharp. Bones and herbs hung around the room. You want money? He asked. His voice was calm but strong. The girls nodded. Their mouths were dry. You are ready to pay the price? He asked, fear mixed with hope. Yes, they whispered. The man looked at them carefully. The path to money is not easy. It is dangerous. You must not fail. If you fail, the cost is heavy. Tolu's stomach hurt. What must we do? The man took a small bowl. You must sleep in the cemetery for The man took a small bowl. You must sleep in the cemetery for 5 nights, alone, on the cold ground. You will face fear, spirits, and darkness. If you survive, wealth will follow you. If you fail, you will not live. Kemi's hand shook. 5 nights in the cemetery, she whispered. Yes, no excuses, the man said. You must do it exactly. Only the brave can take this path. Tolu's mouth went dry. We have to do it. Yes, he said. There is no other way. The girls left slowly. Every step back to the main road felt heavy. The city seemed louder, darker. Tolu whispered, did we just agree to sleep in a cemetery for 5 nights? Kemi looked at her. We have no choice, she said. We are tired of starving. This is our only chance. Their hearts beat fast. They did not know what awaited them, but their lives were about to change forever. The sun went down. Tolu and Kemi packed small bags, a thin mat, a small bottle of water, a piece of cloth to cover themselves. That was all they could carry. The streets were dark. Shadows moved strangely. Every sound made them jump. At the cemetery, gravestones leaned. Some were broken. Tall trees made the place darker. Winds moved dry leaves, making soft noises like whispers. Stay close, Kemi whispered. They laid on the cold ground. The first night was long. Every sound was loud. Shadows moved, branches cracked, their hearts beat fast. Stay calm, Kemi said. Hours passed. The rain blew stronger. Cold seeped into their bones. Fear wrapped around them like chains. But they survived. When the sun rose, they were alive. One night dawn, Kemi said. One night dawn, Kemi said. Tolu shook her head. 4 more nights? That will be worse. The second night was darker. Tolu heard whispers near her ears. Kemi held her hands tight. The wind moved faster. Dry leaves scratched their faces. Shadows seemed to crawl towards them. Every sound made their hearts jump. Sometimes it felt like someone walked past them, but when they looked, nothing was there. The third night was worse. Cold touched Tolu's shoulder like a hand. Kemi thought she saw shapes moving between the graves. They whispered to each other, we must stay awake. We must be brave, Kemi said. Fear was heavy. Every sound made their hearts jump. But they survived. The fourth night, they were very tired. Bodies ached. Cold cut through their bones. Spirits seemed to laugh at them. The fifth night was the worst. They almost ran away. Fear felt like chain around their legs. Shadow moved too close. Cold cut deep. Tolu whispered, I can't do this. Kemi shook her head. We must. We will die if we stop. Stay with me. When the fifth night ended, the sun rose slowly. They had survived. Their bodies ached. Their minds were tired, but they were alive. The sun went down. Tolu and Kemi packed small bag, a thin mat. The girls returned to the Baba. Their eyes were tired, their clothes were dirty, but they felt different. The Baba looked at them. You survived, you are brave, you will get wealth now. Soon after, money came to them. New clothes, new phones, and new shoes. People admired them. No one knew the cost. Tolu looked at Kemi. We did it, but at what price? Kemi did not answer. Her hands shook slightly as she touched the new money. Tolu and Kemi were rich now. People admired them. They went to parties, clubs, and shops. But the fear never left. Every shadow, every quiet street reminded them of the cemetery nights. Sometimes they thought about stopping, but the money, the life, the power, it was too strong. They had learned one truth. Wealth comes with danger, and secrets stays forever. And the lesson learned from this story is that money and success can be tempting, but every choice has a cost. True courage means facing your fears, and some secrets never go away.